Begin. Do me trade? No. Me go face? Me retard? No. Me am smart? Me summon Leok? No. Summon Huffer? Summon Misha? No. Another Huffer? Clear the board? No. SMR? Be nice to people? No. Turn 7 lethal? Play with mech? No. Top deck? Well played? No. Well faced? Me choose to go face, me don't need to trade. Everybody knows that the face is the place. Me choose to go face, me don't need to trade. Everybody knows that the face is the place. So if the face lays taut, me still go face. If the face lays taut, me still go face. If the face lays taut, me still go face.
How about now?
Me still go face. Me get bad curve. Taunt needs nerf. Loose to clowns. Unleash the hounds. Think till rope. Kill the rogue.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the latest season of Saloon. And just want to start off by saying a few things. Like, I'm aware, as well as everybody is, of the reputation that Saloon has. It's known as, being a little unprofessional, scuffed. And I just want to say that we've worked very hard over the off-season to try to, give it a bit of a better reputation, improve it a bit, and just make it a better experience overall. So I hope you guys notice and enjoy some of the changes we've introduced tonight. But anyways, without further ado, I'd like to introduce, returning from last season, my man Sage. How's it going, man?
Hey, the train is going by.
Yeah, the train is going by.
Oh man, how you doing, Ted?
Not bad. I'm hyped. I've been looking forward to this since our last Saloon.
Yeah, I'm gonna muting myself. I feel very unprofessional. You guys listen to the train.
But anyways, we also have with us on his first show is the newest co-host on Saloon, RonMexico. How's it going?
It's going good. Good evening, THL. I'm RonMexico, and I'm here with. I'm very honored to be here with the unofficial Hero Series commissioner, the Big Ted. So you get all the quality content.
Why did you say that like you weren't sure who you were?
Oh, have you ever seen Anchorman? It was an Anchorman joke with the one burgundy.
And I mean, like, you say unofficial, but like I have the role in Discord as Hero Series commissioner, sort of. So I'm sort of the official.
You're right. We will modify that to sort of commissioner.
You are our fearless leader. Is what you are.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into it.
Oh shit.
First thing we're going to do is talk about kind of where we think the meta is going to be. We're going to try to do a few minutes of meta report at the beginning of each show. So we've been discussing what we predict the meta to be for the first week. And here's what the numbers are according to Vicious Syndicate and HS Replay.
So something to note here is that the latest Vicious Syndicate report is a little bit out of date, and I think our HS Replay data, we grabbed a screenshot of it like a week ago. It's changed a little bit since then. Yeah, it's changed a little bit since then, but it's still mostly the same. I think, just a couple data points, it's a little bit different. Yeah, the meta shifts.
Yeah, one major thing that we can notice is Control Warlock. I mean, obviously VS actually gives you some archetypes, and HS Replay just has the full classes, so we don't show exactly where Control Warlock is, but there's a pretty big difference in Warlock, as you can see. Sack Pact was a really big thing against Demon Hunter, being able to, kill a 6/7 priestess for 0 mana and gain 5 health, and now that's gone. So, I'm not sure if you guys have heard, but there's this new class in Hearthstone called Demon Hunter, and it's kinda the king of the meta.
I don't know if anybody was aware of that class, but I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah, just for those people that are either were in a coma or under a rock or just
playing against the innkeeper.
THL or Hearthstone and only get their news from Saloon. Those people now have been educated. Demon Hunter exists, and Newsbreak, it's good.
Yeah. It's definitely good to know what is good going into the season because it gives you an idea when you see your opponent's classes of what you can expect. That's kind of why we're going over it right now. And that's the Vicious Syndicate report, I think, is really good for knowing. Is really good for knowing, like, especially the polarizing matchups are very important in LHS because that's how you counter Q. So stuff that's like super aggro, super control, it's definitely good to know these matchups. And the Vicious Syndicate report shows control Warlock at tier 1, and that's not where it's at right now.
No.
Yeah, and really important point talking about the polarized matchups, because as we can see, Priest in the HS replay stats is down at number 8, but Priest often has one of the most polarized matchup spreads and is frequently an excellent class to bring for Last Hero Standing because there are a lot of specific archetypes or classes that just really can't do much when Priest starts shutting down their game plan.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but Shaman is kind of in the same boat. It's only really bad against Demon Hunter. Like, it just loses outright to Demon Hunter. But it's pretty good against other stuff. Control in particular, I think it's actually pretty good against.
Yeah, definitely. All right.
So, these are definitely things to keep in mind.
Yeah, but then for the rest of the meta, what we see here is just Demon Hunter, obviously king, kind of setting the trends for everything, and everyone has to try to figure out, first and foremost, either how do I beat Demon Hunter, or if you're not playing on ladder and you're playing in some kind of league format series, such as THL,
nice.
Then you can just ban it. Just straight up ban it. Don't deal with it. And then you might be in decent shape there. The rest of the meta goes Rogue and Hunter kind of flip-flopping at the 2 and 3 right now. Warrior seems pretty strong, and that win rate might be artificially lower than it should be because of other people maybe jamming some bad archetypes like Galakron at the moment. Paladin seems to be carried completely by Murloc Shaman. And then you have kind of the rest trying to catch up, things like Spell Druid, Highlander Mage, and so on, and the bottom of the barrel.
I believe in that Murloc Paladin.
Hey, I think the Murloc Paladin is actually tier 1 on HS Replay as far as archetypes go.
It is. It's like 60%.
I mean, I think it is, but when you start filtering the data towards high diamond players, legend players, etc., the win rate starts to die a lot.
For sure.
Yeah, so that's definitely something to consider in THL too, is like the people you're going to be facing in this are mostly probably going to be either high diamond or I would assume mostly legend players, honestly, with how easy the new system is.
Yeah. And we're still in the early days of the meta, so I mean, keep in mind this can easily bounce around all over the place as things get figured out. But what we're really all here for is the tier list, right?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to know where the rankings are.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, let's go into what all of our opinions are for the tiers, or I guess ranking all the teams.
Yeah, there's some really nice teams this season, I gotta say.
Sage, do you want to do a brief rundown first?
Well, how much time do we want to spend on this? I can just kind of run down my list.
Yeah.
Everybody has Burninators up pretty high. Dad Legend as well, F2 well, NPH and Colt and License to Illidan and Spies. These are all like the top. I want to say the top half of the bracket in our mind. But like every team looks pretty darn competitive this season, except Booze Cruise.
Wow.
Classic
that
Sage
was,
firing shots at teams.
He waited 12 minutes. 13 minutes. He waited 13 minutes before he...
Hey, we appreciate your restraint, buddy.
That must have been very hard for you.
But yeah, I mean, we have all the rankings right up here. So I think the most important thing to note is even if you see your team at the bottom, you should use that as motivation to prove us wrong, make us look like idiots, and go all the way up to the top and wreck everybody. Because Hero is absolutely stacked this season. It is unreal how many good teams we have. So this was pretty hard to put a list together. And there were times where I legitimately was thinking I might have, my top 4 easily kind of swap with the middle 4, and like the bottom part might have gone right up there in the middle too. Like it's a close, tough field of teams this season.
Yeah, I put my tier list together pretty quickly. I put a Noyo team towards the bottom just because they're always a big question mark, and actually I have them last, and I don't mean that as any disrespect towards the Noyo team. Just not sure how they're gonna play out this season. Like, are they gonna take it seriously, guys? Come in here and whoop some butt and show me that I'm a complete idiot, please.
A2 wants to know what we think about Tampam's 1 seed.
Of course. A2. Now, let me think. Who is the Tampam's 1 seed? Oh, it's A2 Battleship, the person asking the question. That makes sense.
Well, I said this before the show started. If you had named yourself A1 Battleship, I'd probably pick you every week because you'd be the sauce.
Oh my god.
But to be serious, as an answer, I do actually think that A2 is a really good player. I've seen him play before, and the 1 seeds are stacked, though, so you have your work cut out for you, but I would not be surprised to see A2 having a strong season.
Oh, no, definitely not. Also, Matt Arms would like to say the Bad Take Police are coming.
Oh, y'all can hear that? My bad.
Yeah, no, you're good. But yeah,
they coming for me.
Overall, I was surprised how close we seem to rate a lot of teams.
Yeah, I was actually tempted to rank Burninators first just because of pure bias, but then I thought, I probably shouldn't be super biased coming into this show because we have some other people out there that might be watching that don't want to have just a full bias show. So I was looking at the rosters, and honestly, F2L is unbelievably good. I mean, Itachi, Rabobson, and Liquidox in the 1, 2, and 3 makes me feel like I'm going to pick them to win every single week because I'm going to be picking them to win in the 1, 2, and 3 almost every single week. But then I started looking at the 1, 2, and 3s of some other teams, and I'm like, whoa, hold on. Spies That Flies looks incredible. We've got the Cult.
There's some echo going on.
Oh yeah, I hear an echo too. But the Cult has a really solid roster as well. And then just down the line, I had Burninators, Dad Legend, Young Guns, NPH, Licensed to Illidan, ATL, a Noyo Team, Tan Pams, and while I do also have Booze Cruise last, I would not be surprised to see Booze Cruise start moving up the rankings. If for nothing else, maybe they watch this show and we light a fire under them. So, we'll see how things pan out, but it's going to be interesting to see as the season goes along.
I think the big thing about Booze Cruise is that we had a lot of question marks on their roster that we just didn't know quite what to think. And so, again, guys, don't take it, personally. Just know that, we weren't sure exactly who some of those guys were, and that's the main reason that they're ranked so low.
Yeah, and honestly, I'd say, don't take this as an insult. Take this as a challenge. Prove us wrong.
Yeah,
Make
please.
us. Yeah. We always enjoy more competition.
My first season, my team took the championship, man, and when we started, we were like, I want to say second to last on the tier list.
Yeah, I remember my first season, Cult was ranked we were ranked 20 out of 20.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, so, prove us wrong. Well,
Yeah.
and-
It's always fun to go back and see the week one
Oh, yeah,
predictions at the
absolutely.
end of the season too. So we'll be interested to see how this shapes up.
Yeah, like okay, so Young Guns had a lot of question marks for me as well, and I've been told by Ron specifically that they are incredible, and I don't know them, so it didn't quite sway my opinion. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we all pick pretty heavily based on what we know or the perceptions we have going in. So that's what makes some of these seasons so exciting as well, is just to have our perceptions changed as the season goes along. We have been throwing out some ideas about even doing a tier list of players in each seed. That could be a possibility coming forward, but our tier list for the teams, we may not actually have any changes until kind of mid-season when we get a better feel for what these teams look like.
Yeah, definitely. You really can't make a call off of 2 or 3 weeks of play, especially because at that point, average opponent strength is probably still going to be very varied, and average opponent strength isn't even probably going to be accurate yet.
Yeah.
yeah.
But,
what's the saying I heard? 1 or 2 data points is anecdotal, but 3 is a trend.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, something
I
like
think
that.
I heard that somewhere.
Yeah,
sounds familiar.
yeah, very fair.
Yeah.
But any big disagreements that we had here for particular teams?
I think Young Guns. I had them way lower than you guys did. Oh no.
No, yeah,
Ted also.
I had them. No, yeah, that was just kind of Ron having them a bit higher.
Oh, we got a question in the chat too. An explanation from Ted from Naviute on how F2L is in 7th place.
Well, actually, he said explanation on how Ox in the 3rd is in 7th place, and I have to say
a very specific characterization
and,
of the team.
And I have to say we're not ranking 3 seeds; we're ranking entire teams right now.
Well played, Ted.
Yeah, but yeah, I think I think it's pretty clear by the numbers here what we think, and I think a lot of these opinions have probably been kind of expressed already.
Yeah, and just to kind of piggyback on Sage's point too, I think I was probably the farthest off with you guys regarding Young Guns. That'd be the thing that I would disagree on the most. I think that's a very good looking team, so it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of pans out soon.
The other point to make is that 12 teams here, but only 4 of them are going to make playoffs.
Yeah.
So that's really rough.
We have a jam-packed season full of really strong teams, and very few are going to make it there. So,
we were talking about this.
It's going to be a hell of a season.
We were talking about this just yesterday, how Hero is kind of unique in THL in that the only people that play in Hero are people that really want to be in Hero. People don't really play in Hero just because. There's some people that I think play in Legacy just because they want to be a part of the community. But that's not quite the same with Hero. You don't play in Hero unless you really want to play in Hero.
Yeah, and it's shown by we have such a small number of teams, which leads to a small number of players, and it also shows how stacked it is when teams like the Young Guns and Boost Crews and Anoyo team and Tampams are all rated so low, yet they have the rosters are insane. Let's be honest here. They all have really good rosters. Everybody has a good roster this season. It's just the field's so stacked that someone has to be at the bottom.
Yeah, we have some unreal 3 seeds and 4 seeds.
Oh my god,
yeah. I remember during the reveal stream, my mind was blown. I was like, how are these teams putting together such insane players in the lower seeds? This is going to be nuts.
Yeah, there's just a little bit of controversy last night about Tanpam's roster that it looked like it was over PR, but it's not. That is not.
Yeah, just an innocent systems error. All good.
Yeah, very. I'm sure it was a very scary moment briefly for Tanpams. They were like,
I would say,
"Oh my god, is the team falling apart?" And then
I think
it was just a bug. It's all fixed.
I think
no need to worry.
I think it might have been a bit of a scary moment for the board too, that they thought they might have let that get by them somehow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very glad that there didn't have to be any big shakeups before the season even started, so
Yeah,
we can
me
just
too.
settle down and get to doing the thing we all want to do, which is play some Hearthstone.
Absolutely. So, do we want to move on to the next section?
Yeah, sure.
I
So-
guess this is time for a quick little commercial break, right?
Yeah, it's about that time, I think. I mean, it's been a good deal of time talking about the first week, I believe.
So I can take this first one
go
here.
ahead, Ron.
Sure.
So you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you would please consider subscribing to our channel. The subscription enables the THL team to help cover the various costs of operating our website, as well as improve the quality of our streams and content to our viewers. If you have Amazon Prime or Twitch Prime, you can actually subscribe to the channel for free. Subscribers will get a THL emoticon as well as the lovely THL chat badge. So hit that heart button and keep the notifications on to make sure you catch our team broadcasting live. We appreciate each and every one of you. And special note to our viewers, check out THL on other social media points of interest as well. Our website, teamhearthlegends.com. Follow us on Twitter at THL_HS. And join us on Discord, Team Hearth Legends. Obviously, you're watching us here on this channel, this Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Team Hearth Legends. And we appreciate all the support you give us.
Very well done. All right, time to, I guess, move on to what everyone's been waiting for.
Yeah.
All right, so week one preview. Here we go.
All right, so we're starting off with ATL versus Noyo team. Ron, you want to run us through this one?
Absolutely. So ATL versus Anoyo team. This one looks like it's going to be pretty close to me. I struggled going back and forth on this, but I think ultimately I'm going to give it to Anoyo team in a 3-2 win. I think Desharmo takes the 1, Arhat takes the 2. I've got Dano in the 3. And then Shadow Ranger and Shunsui winning the 4 and 5 to get them close, but not quite enough for that week 1 win.
That's interesting because I kind of went a little bit of a different way on this one myself. I took note of Blue Spartan's record last season. I think if he was that keyed in on meta and the statistics last season, maybe he carries it into this season. And so I picked him in the 1. I picked Arhat in the 2 over Binoculars. I believe I've heard about Binoculars in the past, and he's really good, but I'm not quite sure about that. I don't know him very well myself. So I picked Arhat over Binoculars, and then I picked, I believe it's Pond. Yeah,
it's Pond.
Free Hong Kong is Pond, yeah.
Yeah, I picked Pond in the 3, and Shadow Ranger in the 4, and I picked Jim in the 5 for ATL to take it 3-2.
Yeah, all right. I believe mine are pretty similar to Ron's. I have it as Ducharmo in the 1. I have it Arhat in the 2, Pond in the 3, Shadow Ranger in the 4, and Shunsui in the 5. So I believe I'm actually giving it 3-2 to 3-2 to ATL.
Yeah, this is one of the matchups I was really intrigued by because I feel like so much can go back and forth. So I think this is going to be a really tight match.
I agree. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It'll probably be close. Yeah, that's for sure.
Also, I feel like this is, a bit of momentum for either team. Both teams are coming off of, not the greatest season. I know ATL was a lot closer to it than the Noyo team was at the end last season. But, they both missed playoffs last season. And they're, I know both rosters are hungry. So this could be a nice, momentum booster for one of them.
Absolutely.
All right. Moving on to Booze Cruise versus F2L. Black. Sage, you want to run us through this one?
Yeah, I'll do it. All right, so in this one, I've got the ever overrated Itachi taking it against Zancat in the 1, and Rabobson, who has really shown himself to be an amazing player, taking it in the 2. I think there was a season he started out in the 4 and then worked his way all the way up to the 1 or 2 seed, and that was a pretty incredible season for him. But Rabobson is a great player, despite how much he plays Priest. Give him that. And then I've got Liquid Ox, who, wow, he's still in the 3. How is he still in the 3? Liquid Ops taking it in the 3 over Cone, and then Madiebs taking it over Kazaragar. Is that how you say his name? I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure who.
I was just gonna say your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, I'm not sure who exactly Kazaragar is. I think I've seen him before, but I don't really know him. So I've got Matty Ebbs taking it just kind of based off of PR in the 4, and then Shu, who is fantastic in the 5, taking it over the Chronic in the 5 and giving it to F2L overall 3-2.
Yeah. All right, I'll go next. I have, what is it? Hold on a second here. All right, yeah, I actually have a bit of an upset here. I have Zancat taking it in the 1. I have Rebob in the 2, Liquid Ox in the 3, Matty Ebbs in the 4, and Chewbacca in the 5. And I have, honestly, I think this might be, a bit of an upset. I actually have Boost Cruise taking this one.
Wow, Ted, you got my last ranked team beating my top ranked team.
Yeah.
That's quite the upset for week 1.
But didn't you rank F2L last, Ted?
What?
No, he put him in like 7.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, not F2L. Boost.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, honestly, I'm kind of thinking, this seems to actually be a decent matchup for them, and I think, I think we all agree that it's going to be kind of close, and I think Zancat's going to take up the upset. And I think, Boost Cruise is going to come out a little hungry this week.
I can see that.
Yeah, they're definitely going to challenge our tier list predictions.
Yeah.
That's for sure, I think.
Yeah.
The PR construction of Booze Cruise is interesting. It looks like it really gives them an edge in the 4 and the 5.
Oh, definitely.
So for my picks, I did just go straight down the line with Itachi, Rebubs, and Ox in the 1, 2, and 3. Honestly, until I see them lose, I'm probably going to be doing that every week, which means I might just be picking F2L every week for wins. At least until they play my team and I can pick myself, because I never pick against myself. But I think the 4 and the 5 seeds go to probably Matty Ebbs and Shu, but this is going to give F2L the 3-2 win in week 1 to start them off on the right track.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Moving on to Dad Legend versus Licensed to Illidan. In the 1 seed, we have Icicles versus Trippy 2 seed Starlax versus Donde, 3 Yellow Dart versus Ampul, 4 Hockey versus Mako, and 5 Turd Herder versus Saku. This is a good matchup. This is good all the way down the line.
Yeah, these PRs are pretty close to pretty much across the board.
All right, so for my predictions, I have Trippy Toad taking the 1, Donde taking the 2, Yellow Dart 3, Hockey 4, and Turd in the 5. So I'm giving it 3-2 to Dad Legend.
Yeah, I have to say I agree with the outcome, even though our exact picks aren't quite the same. I've got Trippy Toad winning in the 1. I remember playing against them a couple times during the Hero season, and I was really impressed by Trippy Toad, so I think that's a player to be reckoned with. Granted, Icicles is too. He also beat me in the finals, so it's not like this is going to be a cakewalk by any reason. But I still think Trippy Toad takes the 1. I've got Starlax in the 2, Yellow Dart and Hockey Boys in the 3 and 4, and our favorite Saku bringing up the victory in the 5 seed. Not quite enough to put Licensed to Illidan over the top, but makes it close and gets those crucial points to keep Licensed to Illidan in the race for later weeks. But Dad Legend takes this victory.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be pretty close. In the 1, I don't know why you guys are all on Trippy Toad, man. Like, I get that he's really good, but Icicles, well, it still can't decide how to say his name. I think he takes it over Trippy. Like, Icicles really, really proved himself last season for me. I think he takes it over Trippy, and unfortunately, Starlax quite can't get there against Donde somehow. I think Donde isn't going to do his last season all over again, where he just loses a whole bunch of winning.
I agree with you. I think Donde's going to have a comeback here.
Yeah, I think he learned his lesson last season. He needs to start strong. And and Donde takes it over Starlax. But Yellow Dart's going to get there over Anfall, and I believe Hockey gets there over Mako as well. Because I hope Mako is focusing more on his legacy team than the hero. and then in the 5, I've got Saku taking it over Turd. I think that's a really close match. They're probably going to come down to a 5-game series for sure. But I think Saku takes it overall. And so I'm giving it 3-2 to Dad Legend. And that curses Dad Legend for week 1.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think it's pretty hard to bet against the 80% of the last season champions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they stayed together pretty well. The only person missing off there is somebody I recognize, I think. Who is it?
I have no idea who you could be talking about.
God, the name escapes me at the
Yeah. All right. I'll let you two fight over who wants to read down this one.
Go ahead, Ron.
Since we already pretty much know what Sage's picks are going to be when Sage's team is involved, I'll take this one to start here. Burninators versus No Pros here. Very good teams from last season. I remember they were a very tough matchup for us during the regular season as well. And going down the line here, I can only be so unbiased. I'm pretty much always going to pick myself every week because I'm not picking myself to lose. I don't like doing that. So I think I take the 1. I've got so much faith in Lil Harthy. I think he's probably going to take the 1 seed away from me at some point. I think he wins in the 2. Medusa's in the 3. This is going to be a tough match for him. He's a little bit behind in PR, but I think he can get it done with a victory there. Sage in the 4. Sage, I don't know. I can't beat the guy, so I just have to assume that nobody else can either. But we'll see what happens. And then finally in the 5, partially because Electabuzz is really good, and partially because I want to light a fire under Silver, I think Electabuzz wins this one. So Burninators is going to take it 4-1. Silver, go out there, prove me wrong.
Sage, go ahead.
You go ahead and take it, man. I'm still kind of dying for a second.
Okay, all right, I got you. All right, so I have. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm very often, and it's not because he's right here, but I don't think I'm going to bet against Ron in the 1 too often. And then I don't think I'm going to bet against Little Harthy in the 2 too often. I have those 2. I have Disco taking the 3, but then Sage and Silver I have taken the 4-5. So I have this 4-1 Burninators, and they're going to, I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of that this season.
Oh, man. Sorry. I
hoping
died
anyway.
There for a second. I'm sure y'all heard me choking.
You doing all right, buddy?
Yeah, I'm all right. Sorry, I got some tears in my eyes. I just had a little beer go down the wrong way. All right, my turn.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go for it.
All right. How am I going to pick against my boy Ron in the 1? You got to be kidding me.
Here we go.
No. Ron is taking that 1 every week. All right, every week. He's going undefeated this season. All right, Ron, can you promise me that you're going undefeated?
I can promise you that I will pick myself to go undefeated, but I doubt that I'll actually go undefeated. I've seen some of these 1 seeds. I'll be happy with a winning season. Let's just put it at that.
Yeah, well, I'll drink to that. All right. Okay, so in the 2 seed, Skittles, I don't think he did too hot last season. And Lil Herthy did great. And Lil Herthy's amazing. So I'm taking Lil Herthy in the 2 as well. In the 3, Disco did pretty well. But Starkey really, he pulled his weight real well last season. And I think Starkey could take it for sure in the 3. So I'm going to give it to Starkey. And I'm not going to pick against myself. Come on. I gotta have faith that I'm going to bring it home every week. All right, maybe I carried in the 5 last season, but I'll carry in the 4 this season, just like I have in the past. All right, and then we've got Silver versus Electabuzz, and Electabuzz, he's all right, but I think Silver can take it over Electabuzz as long as Silver doesn't go into tilt mode. So I'm gonna give it 5-0 to the Burninators, and that secures the caster curse for the Burninators for this week.
Man, I'm just saying, like, whoever would have guessed that Sage would pick his team 5-0? I know, I'm shocked.
Yeah, I'm sitting here a little surprised, but I guess we'll just take it with a grain of salt, move on.
Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna run down this next one just because it has a little bit of So next is the Spies That Flies against the Cult. We have Heat Shock versus obviously in the 1, Last Champ versus Lotus Knight in the 2, myself versus Base Dink in the 3, Sanguine versus Loomer in the 4, and Quaz versus Chubbs Pedersen. I don't.
Chubbs Peterson's
Chubbs
hand.
Peterson's hand.
It's a reference. Right. It's a reference to the movie
Happy Gilmore.
Madison. Happy Gilmore. Yeah, I always get those two mixed up. Happy Gilmore. Chubbs Peterson was his mentor that didn't have a hand. He was like a golfer. He was washed up because he lost his hand to an alligator out on what do they call it when the ball goes into the water?
Like out of bounds, or
yeah, I mean the ball had gone into a lake and they had alligators in it, and he went to go get his ball, and an alligator jumped out and bit his hand off, and so he's Chubbs Peterson's hand.
Yeah, for those of you who haven't seen Happy Gilmore, it's a fantastic movie, but great username there.
All right, yeah, but anyways, my predictions. Gonna go for a bit of a. I don't know if you can even call it an upset in the 1. I'm taking Heat Shock. He's coming off of an insane Pro Series season. And, this is kind of his first step into the the closed decklist series. And I think he's going to really surprise people this season. I'm going to give it to Lotus in the 2, just because, obviously Last Champ is an insane 2, but Lotus is just... Like, how's Lotus in the 2? That's just... That's... I don't even know what to say about that. And then similarly, Base Dink in the 3 as well. I think I'm going to have to give it to her over myself. Just because I hate picking myself mostly. But anyways, Sanguine in the 4. Don't think I'm going to pick against too often. And I'm going to give it to my boy Quaz in the 5. So I'm giving it to the Cult 3-2.
Nice.
Ted.
I've got a different take on that one. Go ahead, Sage.
I think you skipped. I think you skipped a whole matchup that we had in order on the show.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's classic. That's classic Saloon, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry.
But I mean, it's fine. We have it listed on the on the stream in the correct order. It's just in the notes that it's different.
We haven't messed up in the notes, but I have it in order on the stream.
For those of you who remember Saloon from last season, that's one of your cues to drink. Sage getting because there is a match being called out of order. So those of you out there still playing along, it's time.
Yeah. Also, this should still be the correct order that they show up on the website. I just somehow messed it up in the notes.
Gotcha.
Okay.
But moving on to the picks here for Spies That Flies. And the Cult, this is a really good matchup as well. Again, like we were saying, just the whole Hero series looks stacked. And we've got Avi versus Heat Shock. I definitely don't think that's like an upset by any means for Heat Shock to win. Heat Shock seems incredibly good. I am going to give this one to Avi, though. Those of you around in THL for any length of time probably have heard of, obviously, his reputation. It seems like it's never incorrect to pick Avi to win. In the 2, we've got Lotus Knight versus Last Champ. I'm giving that one to Lotus. Based in the 3, I mean, this 1-2-3 is also just absolutely insane. I've got Based winning in the 3 against Ted, but you never know. Ted can surprise you sometimes. And I wouldn't be too shocked if he wound up taking that victory. In the 4, I've got Sanguine. I don't know much about Loomer, but I've heard the name. I think they were on a championship team at one point. So going to be interesting to see how they do in Hero Season in their return. And in the 5 seed, I other than the name, which is amazing, I really don't know much about Chubbs Peterson's hand, and I feel like Quaz is pretty underrated as a 50 PR 5 seed. So I think I'm going to give it to Quaz in the 5. That still winds up being a 3-2 Spies That Flies victory for this week 1, though.
All right. Yeah, the Spies are definitely looking really good this season. I think they have an incredible roster. I have Avi as well in the 1. It is definitely always correct to pick Avi. I played on a team with him one season, and I wasn't very motivated to play that season, but he would just tell me what to play, what order to play it in, what to do, when something happened. That's kind of like, if you want me to win, you just tell me, like, yeah, this beats that, this beats that, whatever. And it works out pretty well. And that he would manage to get me to sweep, even though I didn't really feel like playing at times. And and so Avi is definitely keyed in all the time. So I picked him to win a lot. I've heard of Heat Shock before, I think, but I don't know him that well. So I'm not sure about him personally. And then Lotus in the 2 over the Last Champ. I've heard Last Champ is very good. I don't really know him either, but Lotus is definitely excellent. Based, I'm very familiar with Based. I picked Based as well in the 3. Sorry, Ted, but
Yeah,
Based, my girl, she's gonna get it.
I mean, I was gonna say.
She's whooping your butt, my boy.
Yeah, like,
Ted's got the next level plan of all 3 casters pick Ted to lose, so that he can
easy.
cast her first
Easy.
and try to get the win.
No, but like honestly, like I know Base could be competitive in the 1. Like,
Based is the 1 seed.
In the 3.
No, Based was the 1 seed for Galacronies last season, and it's the 2 on HSA this season. And Based is just really good. Anyways, moving down, we got Sanguine versus Lemur, and Lemur is pretty washed up, and Sanguine is in her prime, and she is going to beat Lemur's butt. I'll tell you what, you get it, Sanguine. Oh yeah. And then I'm picking Quaz over Chubb Peterson's hand as well. He's caused a little bit of drama in my server, and I wouldn't mind seeing him lose. So I've got it, unfortunately, 3-2 for the Spies.
The best logic for picking a Hearthstone match.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, yeah. Time for our final match. I believe this is yours, Sage. Tampams versus the Young Guns.
All right. Yeah, Tampans versus the Young Guns. We got A2 versus Dabs in the 1. And who is that? NHL New Jersey's fan versus Catman.
I was just gonna say on the reveal stream we decided we're gonna call him Martin Brodeur from now on.
What?
Nice.
What was that?
Martin Brodeur. He used to be a hockey player for the Devils.
Well,
I think they probably appreciate that nickname anyway.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
I'm just as lost either way.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna call him.
All right.
I'm just gonna call him the New Jersey fan.
Okay.
Anyways, we've got the New Jersey fan versus Catman in the 2, and Catman, like, the guy's old. Who knows? J.R. Duggerlaw versus Nine Eyebrows in the 3. Osmonaut versus Buse in the 4, and it's me, Mike V, who, for some reason, I couldn't beat him last season. It kind of, that was the one itch I couldn't scratch. I kept facing him in different series, mind you, like, different series I kept facing him, and I couldn't beat him, and it kind of drove me crazy. I was like, why? Like, I would always go to 5 games against him, and he would edge it out against me, and it kind of just drove me nuts. But anyways, against Doomsday in the 5, and if I recall correctly, Doomsday was the captain of a high school team a couple seasons back that didn't do very well. And so I think I'm picking A2 in the 1 to win. I would really like it if he would change his name to A1 Battleship. A2, please. Anyways, I don't know Dabs very well, but Ron does. But I still think A2 probably takes it because I know A2 is really good. And if I recall correctly, A2 and obviously knocked us out of duos, Ron.
This is true. They're very good players, both of them.
They are. They are very excellent players. And then I've got Catman, what is it, 70-year-old dude.
Here we go.
In the 2, taking it over the New Jersey's fan. And Nine Eyebrows probably knows exactly how to beat JR, which is just, belt him. And yeah, taking it over JR. And then I've got Oz taking it over Buse, which I love Buse. I've met this guy in real life. He's a really good guy. But I still think I played against Oz, and he is excellent. He is very excellent. He takes it over Buse. And then Mike, who I just couldn't even beat against Doomsday, who I don't have much faith in. I've got Mike taking it over Doomsday in the 5. So I'm giving it 3-2 to Tan Tams for week 1.
All right, Ron, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. So for this match, I don't actually know Dabs well, but I do know Diamond, and Diamond definitely goes on and on about how good Dabs is, and I trust his judgment. So I think Dabs is an excellent player. For this week 1 match, I'm buying into the Diamond hype about Dabs, and I'm picking Dabs to win in the 1. Catman I actually play on Pro Team with, and Catman is really good as well. I don't know much about Martin Brodeur, but I can say that I know they played Itachi in the Wild series, and as I recall, he was saying they were more of a Wild player than a Standard player. So I'm curious to see how those skills will translate. For now, I'm going to pick Catman, but I'm excited to assess, where NHL NJ fan Martin Brodeur is going to be as a player in these weeks to come. I'm giving this match to Catman. In the 3, Nine Eyebrows versus JR. This should be a pretty close one, but Nine Eyebrows I've got a lot of respect for. I've played them quite a bit, actually, and I've been losing to Nine Eyebrows a lot. They're really, really good, and I'm not picking against him unless he gives me a reason to. So I think Young Guns are taking these top 3. Then the bottom 2... Oz is an incredible player, and even with that PR deficit, I think Oz is just really underrated in the 4. I think he picks up this win. He's our 2 seed in Legacy, I believe. And then Mike V, a pretty big PR difference between Doomsday there. I think Mike V is an underrated player as well. I think he picks up this win. So it gets close at the end, but Young Guns should lock up their week 1 win with a 3-2.
Ron, aren't you playing on a team where it's like you and then 4 other players whose PR is basically the same?
What team?
Legacy.
I mean, it's not. I wouldn't call it insane, but
no, the same. Like their PR is like all very close.
I mean, Quaz is on that team. I wouldn't call his PR close to Ron's.
What?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying Ron. Quaz is on that team.
Are you getting my Legacy team confused with your Legacy team? Because your Legacy team, they're like all the same. Like all the PRs are like exactly the same almost.
I thought it was always the Stubbs and Tan Pams, like Dirty Mike. Their sort of composition was like they all had their PR about the same.
It might be shifting a little bit this season for the Steps.
Okay, I didn't look yet. That's probably my problem.
Yeah,
I was like, are you getting yourself confused with me, Sage?
A little bit of identity crisis there.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, but anyways, my predictions. I'm giving it to A2 in the 1. I know you know. What I believe him and Avi won the what was it, the duo series, and just like
I think they did.
Yeah. And just, I got to cast a few games from that, and just listening to, him talk out plays of Avi, and you can tell he's, a very strong player. 2, I'm going to give it, I believe in Marty Brodeur. I think he's going to pull it off in the 2.
You madman.
In the 3, I have 9, because 9 in the 3 is just stupid. In the 4, I have Booze, and 5, I have Mike. So I'm giving it 3-2 to Tam Pams.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I'd picked Buse, I'll be honest. He abuses his opponents, that's for sure.
Okay, then.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, that's But I believe we have a few questions from the Hero Series Discord chat to answer. No?
Yeah, that's our
do have a
full
few
week one
questions.
preview here. I'm excited that we
was
got
week one.
a few questions to answer. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Fuel had a question for the stream. He said, "Whose idea was it to draft Ron?" And I gotta say, this is pretty easy. Like, I think right after the stream ended for Saloon last season, the last stream, I immediately asked Ted. I asked him, like, we talked about who was leaving and who was staying. And when we knew we had a spot open, I was like, "Well, why don't we ask Ron?" And apparently, Ted had already asked Ron.
Yep. Yeah.
All lies though. Really, it was threats and bribes. I was behind the scenes, just making multiple threats towards them. No one would draft me willingly, so I offered money. I made physical threats, threatened their families, stuff like that. And eventually, I was able to convince them enough to let me on the show. So worked out.
Yeah, I think what put you over the edge was you promised to finally have a cam at some point, and we all want to see your handsome face.
That's true. I actually am gonna have a camera set up finally. So when we do the cams in week 3, you'll actually get to see the whole face reveal thing. Yeah.
Also,
this actually leads into the follow up question. Why isn't Ron wearing an awesome sombrero?
So I do think that's probably territory I dare not venture into.
Oh boy.
I'm just a white guy. I'm just a boring white guy, and I don't want to be putting on a sombrero or anything, or just going overboard with something like that. So I'll just be my regular self.
Okay. What were you gonna say, Ted?
No, I was just gonna say about the cameras. I'm sorry. I have a lot of stuff going on right now. I'm finishing up my year of school, and then I have to go up and pack up my apartment and move that all out. Just basically, I will have my cam set up for week 3. I'll have all that set up.
Sweet.
Yeah, and you're just gonna see.
In
Nick
the meantime,
Cage.
it just builds the hype. It's perfect.
Yeah.
You're just gonna see various levels of Nick Cage throughout the season for me.
I love it.
Or I think it was, you said Nick Sage earlier.
Yeah. This is the season of Nick Sage.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Okay,
Also,
had a
a perfect first picture to lead off too.
Yeah, no, it's good to be back. That's for sure. Yellow had a question. He asked, "Is Big Ted still Dad Legend's #1 fan, or has he shifted allegiance along with you to Burninators?" This was in a DM to me. So, Ted, are you a Burninators fanboy now, or what?
I mean, honestly, it's, probably going to be a lot easier to cheer for Dad Legend now that I don't have to hear how great they are every week. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Instead, you can switch your hate to Burninators because you're going to hear Sage hyping up Burninators every week.
Yep.
And, so the pendulum swings.
Yep. Oh god, that could get dangerous if Sage and I are ever on the same team in Hero.
That would actually be kind of amazing. Just like the internal strife that you would be faced with Ted, where you're like, I want to pick against Sage, but also he's my teammate. What do I do?
Yeah.
Easy. He just picks against me anyways.
Well, that's true. Yeah, he picks a team to win, and he picks against you.
Yeah.
But he would be conflicted about whether he should hate or love his team.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Did we have any questions from the chat?
Yeah. If anybody has anything to ask in the chat, go ahead. While we're doing that,
please.
Does somebody want to run down our upcoming events and matches this week?
Oh, sure. I'll gladly do that. So on Wednesday, we have Earth Center with Dawn Day, Lotus Knight, and it looks like J.R. Durgalaw is going to be their guest on week 1. And they're going to do Earth Center. What time do they do that? Did they do it the same time that we do? 8
it's
PM, Central. Sorry.
8 Central.
I pay attention to the Central.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 9 Eastern, 8 Central. And then on Thursday, we have Tavern Talk at 7 Eastern, right? No, 8 Eastern.
8 Eastern, 7 Central.
Yeah, seven. I was trying. I'm trying. Okay. Who is opt by DeSharmo, and they've got Dano and Travis Chrono as well. And for the matches this weekend, the matches we've got so far, we've got on Friday. The first match at 8 p.m. will be a legacy match between Free Hong Kong versus what? Neji Boston. I haven't heard this name. Neji Boston. He must be new because I haven't seen this name before in my whole life.
Yeah.
All right. So, does somebody want to take over? I apparently have a fire engine passing through my town.
Oh, no worries. You left off on Neji Boston. So match 2 on Friday at 9 p.m. is going to be also a legacy match, and it's Donde versus the Big Ted. So, Ted, you're back on stream in a short period of time. All right.
Also, I just want to mention this is a 3-seed match. Donde's in the 3-seed in Legacy.
That's a little wild.
Yeah.
Well, good luck, buddy.
That is very wild.
Yeah.
It looks like the fire engine is passed.
I just want to mention I have 2 3-seed matches this week against Based and Donde. Can someone explain that to me?
I think across all series, THL got pretty stacked.
Oh, yeah.
So this is going to be an exciting season. We've got 4 series to get hyped about, and we have a whole lot of content coming your way. So definitely keep tuning into this channel, and you'll see a lot of fun stuff coming.
Yeah.
Is there any show that's going to be covering Wild yet? I don't think there is. I remember...
Not specifically. I know that Schoolstone is definitely open to covering every match that's available, whether it be April Absurdity or Wild Series, whoever happens to be on stream, but we don't have a Wild dedicated show at this point in time, and no Wild dedicated stream.
I think they're like looking for a team to do it, or like they're like starting to think about it.
Yeah.
Oh, and in the chat, A2 said that Disco is blogging about the Wild Series.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that maybe has to be sufficient for the time being, because like the only night that would be open would be Monday, and Tuesday is already pretty much poison for streaming a show.
Yeah.
So it's a tight schedule to fit into, but it's possible that could come up.
Yeah, and also one more match we'll have Saturday night.
Yes, on Saturday.
Yeah. 9 p.m. is
you want to take it, Ted?
Yeah, I got it. Itachi versus A2 in Legacy. So that should be a good one. We are running out of time, but we do have a few questions in chat. Adam wants to know what Ron's favorite color is.
Oh, easy. That's blue.
Hey, my man. And
it's kind of funny because I named myself after my favorite color.
Nice.
And,
well played. I don't even know what color that is.
It's kind of a yellowish, silvery green.
Oh, well said.
It's very earthy.
Disco wants to know what the biggest surprise from the off-season team changes is.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, I think. Right off the bat, what jumped out to me was Spies That Flies. Spies That Flies was just like, there were some established teams and there were some established kind of cores. And this team, I was like, whoa, this got put together and looks incredibly good. These guys are going to be, I think that they're almost certainly going to make the playoffs. This just, calling it early, this team looks insane.
Yeah, the only debate I would have against that is we saw a few teams with like kind of a similar structure to that last season with the SM5 and
true, yeah, that's a good point.
And I can't remember what Diamond's team was called last season, but they had the same kind of structure, and neither of those teams made it. So we'll see if they can break the rule set last season.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but
I'm definitely impressed with the Colt this season. I think getting Sanguine in there in the fourth was a big boost. And I don't know who Heat Shock is, but I'm guessing he's good.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I think Ted is actually underrating the Cult. So we'll see how that goes.
Again, it's so tough this season. There's so many good teams.
Yeah.
And Silver kept saying, like when the Tam stuff was happening last night, we were in voice with Silver, and he kept saying that the difference, like a 56 PR difference, right, was the difference between having Sanguine in the 4 or Sage. And I was like, well, thank you, Silver. So
What a guy.
Yeah. I'd say my biggest surprise is just you know, I thought Hero was insanely stacked last season, but somehow it just got more stacked. I was just gonna say, even with the addition of 2 teams, it still seems.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it still seems like
the
it's even a tougher field.
The field got bigger and tougher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
but if you want to be in Hero, that's where you really want to be.
Yeah. I think the only thing that didn't change is the number of teams that make playoffs.
That's true.
Yeah, just to make it a little extra tougher on everybody.
Yeah. But yeah, with that, I do believe that's all we have tonight. Obviously, tune into our other shows that we ran down, and I would just like to say a big thank you for everybody who helped us in the off season to get this set up. Especially thank you to Myanodon.
Myanodon.
Yeah.
Oh yes, very much so.
Yeah, Myanodon got us in a call with us for probably about half an hour and just talk through show notes, gave us some examples, stuff like that, and it was a really big help.
Yes,
yeah, and we're excited to be seeing you every Tuesday in the weeks to come.
And thank you to Diamond for getting me in contact with Myanodon, telling me who to talk to about the show notes, because that was something that really bothered me when I first joined with the crew last season. The first thing I asked was show notes, and I kind of got laughed at, and I was like, all right, well, I guess that's just the way Saloon is.
Yeah. And also thank you to Donde too. He, I had a few questions for him during the off season, and he was always, fast to respond like Donde is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And most of all, I think a big thank you to everyone out there who was watching our stream. We really appreciate you guys watching and hope that you continue to tune in. I think this Hero series especially is going to have a lot of fireworks as the season goes on, and we're all really excited to see how it goes. So hopefully you guys stick around with us and keep tuning in.
Yeah, but
okay, one last little note. I just looked at the Hero series chat. Icon said that for the hosts asking, Kazargar is an engineer and LHS specialist who's been playing LHS and Hearthstone since near the beginning of the game.
Interesting.
So apparently he should be pretty good.
Okay, then. We'll have to keep our eye out for that.
Definitely a bargain in that seed. Okay. Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
But yeah, anyways, thank you all for tuning in. If you have any, feedback about the new Saloon, please leave it in Hero Series chat or DM it to any of us. It's always appreciated. But anyways, I've been Ted.
And I'm Sage.
And I'm RonMexico?
Yeah. and
Thanks, everybody.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.